Let me bring this perspective, because this is what we've seen happen in the country, because we've seen time and again when the police arrest certain persons because they bought a stolen car from perhaps a regular dealer.
Yes.
So does that principle also work here? Because if I buy a car from perhaps a regular dealer and it turns out the car is stolen, they still tell me, no, you should have done your due diligence.
Well, let me tell you. The intention becomes relevant in that. There's an offense known to law as receiving stolen good. So when stolen good is recovered from your possession, there's a presumption that you received it.
Even if you legitimately
I'm going to get there.
Okay.
You have received, it's found in your possession. The principal party who stole the item, confirms that, okay, this is the item. So, of course, the police have to do their, and in doing the investigation, they discover it's in your possession. Now, you are given the liberty to explain how you came into possession. You may even be charged to court. The court is not that blind. So, when you get there, that presumption can be debunked by you simply. The police have to prove that, of course, the intention, there are two elements. The actus reus, the mens rea, the intention and the actual receiving. The two must come together. So it's for you, once the police can show that, oh, yes, he knew that this, all you have to prove is, oh no, I went to a normal sales point, carport, where they sell cars. Normally this car that I bought is 3 million. I paid 3 million. There is no way I could have known that it was a stolen car because I paid the normal price for it. And so the court will then be able to come to a determination that, oh, this person probably he received, but there was no intention.
Okay, so to some extent, we can then say that that case is very different and may not necessarily apply to that of the customs, where they can stop you on the road and ask for your custom duty papers.
Now, you see, it's the same. It's the same principle. And of course, what I'm trying to drive at is this. The customs are saying, from its ab initio, the policy is wrong. I guess to that extent, it's different from the scenario I painted. It's wrong for you to say, an item that had passed through customs, has gone into the market, has been sold to a third party. You now say you want to start impounding, which is doing the job of the policeman, the average policeman. You now want to start impounding. Now, you become the judge and the jury, because you then come, you stop, and it's happening. It's already been done.
The FOU, we see they do this.
Yes, on the highways, on door, everywhere.
But they cite the Custom and Excise Act, saying that's where we derive our powers.
They insist on seeing your papers. After seeing your papers, my own friend, my colleague, my partner in the office, was told to, after checking all this, he said, okay, can you bring your key? I want to check something. Yeah. That's the trick. Once they get your key, you are not taking that car away from there, even if you are in the middle of the bush, in the middle of nowhere. And they are armed. They even threaten that, I'm armed. Now, when they then do that, you cannot confront them. Do you start trekking from Ore to Lagos? There is no court, nowhere. They are doing it. They are still doing it as of today. So what then happens?
Is it illegal?
Of course, that's what we're saying. The policy is stupid. It's not just illegal, it's downright stupid. Let us call a spade a spade.
So are you saying that the CGC made a mistake?
Serious mistake. I've read early this morning, but now that he has an order of court saying, oh, don't go to court. Of course, we know what that happened.
We'll come to that.
The court is a clearing point. Now he's saying, oh, we're going to now look at it and do some things about it, because it's an indictment on customs. The first step for him to tell Nigerians we can trust him is, look, you have so many cars, like the Jeep, the Range Rover in contention that there was under payment, under assessment or whatever. A customs man allowed that. All these cars you are talking about, customs men allowed it. How many customs men have been sacked? We have so many printouts, computer printouts. Check your records. Can you imagine a Controller General of Customs saying, oh, we don't have records. We need to have records. The first point of call is your men. Now, this car, it should have paid so much. How come they paid you? You are sacked or you are suspended. You are under probe, charged to court. Then the dealer, the man who imported and underpaid, you have them all over there in Apapa. You then go to them, see you underpaid, you hit them. Before you start talking about whether retrieving or dealing with Nigerians, The man has bought in a market over.
So it's the right policy in the wrong direction.
It's the wrong policy in the wrong direction. That's my answer. It's very wrong. What I'm saying is, this thing should not come outside into Nigeria. You are on border patrol. Anything that should come in with duty must be paid. Appropriate duty must be paid. It has not been paid. Have you punished your men who allowed that underpayment?
Okay, because it looks as though that matter has been subsumed under all of this politics going on in the Senate, but who knows, we may come to that in a moment, but let's get Marquet's question in. Marquet.
Well, you talked about them hitting the dealers as well after the men in the customs service have been probed or sacked or whatever the case might be. Yes. With the customs men. But then when we look at the history of this resolution that the customs came up with, it was as a result of a meeting they held with the car dealers. After hitting them severally, people complaining that they bought the cars from the dealers and they assumed that these people would have done the rightful thing. And that's the reason these people held this meeting with the customs. At least that's what the customs says, and that's what the car dealers themselves say, that they were given a window of opportunity to clear, to clear whatever backlog or to clear whatever doubt was hanging over the duties that had been paid. Now, at the end of the day, the customs decided that, look, if you also know that your car is the right duty was not paid on your car or your vehicle, this is also a window of opportunity as well. Are you saying that all of that was really meaningless, the entire meeting that they had and, the process that they had gone through? Does it change your perspective in terms of how you understand the process?
Thank you, Michael. I quite understand the whole process that they had their private meetings with dealers. I have no problem with that. You can have your private meetings with dealers and they can tell you all their own stories. What I am saying is this. Now, after your meetings, we are not privy to that. They only tell us what they discussed, what they agreed. Now, what I'm saying is, before you can begin to, pounce on Nigerians who have fallen prey. No Nigerian, as an average Nigerian, I'm a lawyer. I don't know how much duty should be paid on any item. That's not my job. That's not my profession. There are professionals who, this is not even a case of me importing a car myself and paying duty on it. That's a story for another day. There are people who actually imported, and the customs men would deliberately, when they see that the car is a good car, you can never have a right figure. There's no stable figure. No stable. You go from one table to the other, tell you, the next table will tell you, no, you have not paid enough. And then what do? They then tell you that, okay, if you want me to help you, you are supposed to pay 400, but you have paid 300. Just bring 50, and then you can go on. That is what happens. I have live cases that has happened. Those who even imported themselves. You are now talking of businessmen who imported cars, paid duties. You now say you had meetings with them. Of course, what would they say?